not gonna grow for you, it might grow for them. But it's gonna grow.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, but they're gonna give you.
Isn't that crazy?
That's why I do.
Right,
Okay,
right.
so people are live now. Morning, Mr. and Mrs.
So where's Win Live?
Did you go to the website?
Yeah, I'm on the website.
Let me see. Where's,
I roll that
let's see.
right on into
Go to, no, just go to the very top. It's simple. We made it very at the top. Where's, go to the home page.
Long as I wasn't. Long as I wasn't.
I guess I'm not seeing the way you said, okay?
What you gonna do with thumbs up saying you're live? It was just gonna sit.
Where?
I'll let you just run it.
That's a YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's the top.
Where's all the bars at? I don't know how to do it on here. Okay, hit that thing. Okay, okay, good. Go to, make it scroll. It should say Win Live.
Yeah.
You see that? Find Win Live.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, click Win Live and you'll be in.
It says guest area.
No, just Win Live. Brandon, help me. He's got to go to Win Live. On your phone is, I don't know, but just go to the, we made it at the very top, Win Live.
Right, so when I do that, right? Somewhere on there.
Yeah, there it is right there. Win Live.
Oh.
That's it.
Right here.
There you go. Okay. Dollars into? Okay. All right. Well, we are broadcasting live too for the you guys that out there and remotely wherever you are. Brandon, turn that thing a little bit more this direction, would you? Camera. Just rotate it.
This?
No, that one's fine. Turn that one.
Like that?
Yeah, so it faces more. Yeah, that's good.
That's perfect.
A little bit more. Yeah, that's good. Let's see what I can do. Watch this. I can focus in on what I want to focus in on. Watch it adjust on the screen.
Yeah, it just adjusted.
Did you see it adjusted already?
Yep.
That's pretty awesome, and I hope. Okay. Well, we are broadcasting live too. There is going to be a delay, so y'all can kill the sound here.
All you gotta do is turn it.
Okay, you need to cut this on now and record it both ways just in case. Button on the side. The power button's on the side.
Oh, that's
the other side. Dante, you know how to work the red camera, right? Okay, and then just start recording. Okay. Okay. Thank you guys for your time. Sorry for the delay. I guess we just got to get our own aircraft. You can just take off when you want to.
Record.
All right.
I didn't hit record. It's on though.
You hit the middle button to hit record.
Okay, you should be good. I hate it to say standby or something like that.
You good, Dante? Let me help you cut it off.
There it is.
Okay. Good. And you can see on the back screen, you can see what you're picking up. We're good?
Got it.
Okay, good. Anyway, thank you everybody for those guys that came out that are here to go catch some of this information. You know, like with most things, everybody doesn't want to catch everything. But this is something that if you decide to really add it to your repertoire of what you do, you're going to find it's going to be a big, big deal. I was talking to a young man at the airport at the Hertz when I was picking up my car, and you know, he asked about the other guy who was standing behind him, I think he's training, recognized my shirt Marine. So, you know, you were Primerica. I started in Primerica in New York, and, you know, so he kind of knew what the ring meant and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, I was one of the original people that brought Primerica to St. Louis back in '82. So it's been a long time. And what we're seeing now, those guys that's been around here for a while, is that the vast majority of your clients don't die before 65. Okay, but that's a good thing too, right? The vast majority of our clients are living to 65, the 20-year term that we originally wrote. They live that out. They're coming up for renewal, and not enough of them have money set aside in investment accounts. So we need to do really a better job of completing the concept of buy term and invest the difference, not just selling not just not just talking the concept, but we need to go ahead and deliver on the concept. So getting a security license is a big deal. It also is a great way to grow your income. Okay, there's 3 types of assets under management that you do want to grow. One of them is plain bodies, which I call assets under management. Okay, okay, having licensed representative, both life and securities. Which on the life side we have 3,024. On the security side, we currently have 250. I think the number is 250 licensed in the hierarchy, and that number is growing. That number is growing, very good, which I'm happy about that. We obviously need to continue to grow that. How many folks are working to get your license now before the new enhancement comes up? You got a lot. Are you guys doing that? Okay, you need to go knock that down, get it out the way. It opens up so many doors, which I'm going to talk about for you, to help you to gather clients now, get future clients, and I'm going to say this, but not in a bad way, but with your database of clients, okay, you win here by servicing your clients. Everybody understands it, right? Mm-hmm. But in your database, every business is looking at how they can monetize their business and generate revenue out of it, right? Okay. Facebook is figuring out how to make money at Facebook, with just people sharing pictures of their grandbabies and my dog and all the crazy stuff that people do on Facebook. I don't know how to Facebook, but I know I do have a Facebook account out there, but somebody will Facebook it for me, okay? So so it's out there. So there's a way that you can use your existing clients, I'm going to talk about that some today, and generate an additional cash flow by servicing your clients, okay? That's a good thing, right? Okay. So the number is, when you have people on your team, 15% of them will do business in the life side, and they're going to do an average of 2 transactions a month. So that's what happens. That's what happens. That's the numbers of the company. So, but you got to again deal with the law of large numbers, not the law of small numbers. The second way you're going to help to build wealth here is to build assets under management. Assets, and assets is by having clients who put away, lump sums of money, you roll it over, and you earn something called a 12B1 fee. And a 12B1 fee is a management fee that they put in the securities business, where you earn 0.25 and we get whatever our proportion share. RVPs get 63% of that number, but as those assets grow, you generate a recurring income. So now you got another recurring income stream coming out of that number. Okay, so that's the second way that you're going to work to go build income. And the third way is to take some of your personal income that you make and you invest it yourself. And you invest it and you build personal assets under management. You go and build personal money under management, right? By applying the concepts that we teach, like buying mutual funds, buying an IRA, putting money away in emergency funds. In other words, the things that we teach our clients that you take and apply it to your own personal self. So those are 3 ways that you ultimately are going to build an income stream here with Primerica. Okay, everybody, if you're going to do this, everybody in their right mind should want to get paid today and tomorrow for the work you did yesterday. I mean, if you don't get that concept, then we need to go back and deprogram you somewhere, because that's a phenomenal concept that, unfortunately, has not really been taught to us growing up. Not just us, meaning Black America. It hasn't been taught to Americans in general. The vast majority of people, I don't care if they're Black, they're white, they're Asian, they got a job. 80% of them have a job. We have all been trained that the only way we can make money is to go to work for someone else. The concept of leveraged income is new to us. It's new to America. That you can recruit, train, and develop people and make money off of them. That seems weird, doesn't it? But how many of you guys work at, have ever had a job before? Raise your hand. Okay, let me ask you first, sir. Where did you work at?
St. Charles Community College.
Okay, good. How did you get recruited? How did you end up there? Did you
I
get
was
recruited?
working somewhere else and somebody recruited me.
Somebody recruited you. That's amazing. Okay. Then did they train you?
I was already trained, but
They trained you on their
walked me through
system.
Their system.
They taught you on their system, and then they overrode you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else had one? Let's go. What did you do?
I worked at Express Scripts.
Okay. How'd you find Express Scripts?
I had a friend that worked there.
So she kind of helped recruit you,
Right.
and then you went there, interviewed, and then you told them, please hire me. Y'all went there, and then did they train you?
Yes.
And then Express Scripts overrode you. So what did you do?
Worked at credit union.
Credit union. What did you do?
I was a teller.
Tell. Okay. How'd you get there?
I went to a job fair.
Amazing Grace. And they were recruiting at the job fair. Can you imagine they recruit? They recruited you? Okay. And then so they told you coming out and they hired you?
Yes.
And then did they train you?
Yes.
Okay. And then they overrode you. So the point I'm making is that every job, everybody that runs a business has an override system.
That's right.
It's just new to us that we're on the side where we can now override. Override is not new. It's been around since time began. Whether they force people to do it through slavery, and all slaves in the world, it wasn't all black, everybody's been in slavery of some sort, okay? Or whether we volunteered to go there, the override system has always been there. But we haven't been taught to do it. We've been taught to be the processors and not the creators. Okay, so what we're doing here at Primerica is giving regular people like us a chance to become creators and override, to recruit, train, and develop, and you get to have a direct benefit on the efforts of other people. But it doesn't come out of their pocket. All the income that you guys, who all did business in the last 30 days? Anybody do business the last 30 days? Okay, what did you do, Brandon?
A couple life insurance and a couple securities.
Okay, thank you very much. And that created an override income, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. George, thank you, and Charles does too. Charles thanks you twice. Override you twice. Okay. What did you do, Angie?
I did. Yesterday I did a 187.
Really?
And I did a 40-something dollars.
So did you submit it before 4 o'clock?
Yes. No, it's in the system.
What is that?
It should be sent. I put it
So
in.
you submitted it before 4 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So they cut us checks last night.
Anything going before 4,
They cut checks that night.
Okay.
But it was us. It was French. It was we. They cut we checks last night.
All right.
Okay, and then what is going to be in our account on Monday.
Okay. That's good thing.
That's a great thing.
That's a great thing.
Okay, so this is not a new concept. Again, just new to us. So what you got to work to do is to go build your assets under management. That's what this is about, to help you to build your AUMs, because each of you are going to reach a point in your life where you physically, unfortunately, might not be able to work, or you mentally say, I'm tired. I don't want to work no more. Just like in Forrest Gump, remember he got up and started running, then people started following him, and all the people followed him, and then one day he said, I'm not running no more. And he didn't. He walked home. So he just said, I don't want to do it no more. So eventually you might reach a point, so you know what? I just don't want to go out and prospect and set appointments and give presentations no more. And when you reach that point, you want your business and your personal assets paying you income. Okay, is this all making sense?
Yeah.
So having a securities license and understand annuities, how they work, is critical in what needs to happen. So I want you to write some stuff down if you would, okay? I want you to write some things down. Okay, I hope I'm still broadcasting. Yeah, it is, okay. Phone call came. I want you to write some things down. Here's what I'd like you to write down. The stages where people are in life. The first stage that people are at when it comes to money, what's the first stage, everybody? Guess.
accumulation?
Yes, it is. The first stage is accumulation. Okay, you want to start accumulating what's called assets, personal assets. You want to start accumulating personal assets. Now, one of the things that's nature of us, but it is what it is we're master procrastinators. We love to put it off, put it off, put it off, put it off. Oh, too late. So we've got to work to help people to stop procrastinating. Okay, where should we probably begin that at, Turl? Huh?
Young age.
Who?
At a young age.
Yeah, of course, at a young age, but wherever you are, who should probably begin that process? What? Well, who said that? Or if I had a Tootsie Roll Pop, I'd give you one. Okay? It is self, okay? We need to begin what ourselves starting. When I first started putting away money, the first thing I put away was like $25 a month. And that was very difficult. It was very difficult because I had been used to spending all of my check. And broke before that the next payday, and I get it, and because I went in the hole the previous 2 weeks, I immediately had to catch up with all the stuff and then come forward and ran out again. So when I first started doing a mutual fund for my own personal self, that was a challenge because I had not ever had understood that concept, didn't know anything about it, and that was new, but gotten used to it now. Okay, so start with yourself. Okay, that's the first very important thing to do. Does everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, so the first thing I said is the accumulation stage. What's the second stage that people need to reach? There's got to be protection. Okay, so now we need to accumulate, and then we want to protect. We want to protect what we have accumulated. We're going to protect it from market volatility. Because the stock market has two cycles. What are they?
Up and down.
Up and down. That's it. It has two cycles, up and down. One thing it don't do is stay still. It is always moving. Now, the reason that people need to protect, okay, is that, I gotta best say this. It really ties to the third part. And what's the third reason? Longevity. Longevity. People generally do not retire at 65 and die at 67 anymore. And statistically, I'll tell you this now, if you live to 65, and let's say you're single, you have a 1 in 4 chance to live to 93. My uncle is 93. My father is 87, will be 88. My mother's 87, and they're fine. Okay? So how old is Howard? 81? 81. So again, now if you're coupled at 65, if you're coupled at 65, 50% of us are going to live to 93. See, the point I'm making is that longevity is important too. So we have tools at our company to help people to accumulate, to protect, and to give them longevity. It's a heck of a deal. Most people are not going to go to our marketplace and help the clients that we have to serve. And the reason that they generally are not, because they don't have enough money in their mind that interests them. So as a result, most people, middle class, just Americans in general, are underserved when it comes to information about financial services. Now, one of the downsides of us and our people is that we often say, nobody ever, there you go. But last time I checked, they got something called a library. And if we can do the thing called read and comprehend, then we can read and comprehend and learn information So it's out there. But the strength of that, the lack of that, is what makes us have value to the consumer. Because we bring that knowledge to them across the kitchen table, and that's what gives us value. Does that make sense? I was helping my sister with setting up a double dip yesterday, the day before. And there was a couple in Ozarks, Missouri. So y'all understand what part of town that is. She's got about 125,000, and they're in their older age, so we're talking about the third stage of what we need to do. And so went through the plan with her, and she liked it. She said, well, what do you make? I said, no problem, ma'am. We make 3.1%. I had no problem letting you know. I said, yes. She said, yes, you make 3.1%. That's what the company pays us to do this. And saying the reason that they do this, ma'am, is because I'm currently bringing you value. If I don't bring you value, then I don't earn compensation. The value we're bringing you, you're making sure that you have a guaranteed income for life for both you and your husband, and you didn't know how to do this, and we know how to do it, and that's why you're going to pay me. 3.1%. And on the mutual fund, it's going to range between 4.5 to 5. So currently, your mutual fund, you're paying about an average of 1.25% between expenses, 1.2 to 1.5. Say, on the annuity we're going to put you in, you're only paying a 0.95%. So actually, your expenses are going to be lower, but the value is going to be higher. So yes, ma'am, I don't do what I do for free. Can't afford it. Exactly what I told her. Great. We'll get together on Monday and complete the plan. Fantastic. Okay, so you don't have to back down. Your doctors don't see y'all for free. So quit acting like you got to sneak in. You got to sneak a dang thing. If you bring value, you're not talking crap. You're just bringing value. So one thing we want to do is to help you guys that you can speak with tremendous confidence as you work, not arrogance, as you work with your clients, and that you do generate income while you're doing this. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, so we talked about the third stage, which of course is longevity. And that's another important part. And then there's one more portion after that. What's after longevity? After you've lived out all you can live, what happens after that?
Give it away.
We want to pass. We want to do it. We'll pass on as a what? Inheritance. So we want to go through the next stage and make it easier for the next generation than what was made for us. So those are the really 4 stages that we're going to help our clients with. First is accumulation. Okay. What's the second one? Protection. The third is? And the fourth one is? Inheritance. That's what we're going to do. And isn't that a good thing? Okay? So those are services that we're going to be doing as we go sit down and go and start working with clients. Now, while Carol's going to come back and I'll bring up and go through the presentation with you, guys, I want to talk a little bit about Franklin Templeton funds, which I've been using. I've switched over from Invesco, and I'm primarily using Franklin Templeton. One of the biggest reasons why is that the Franklin representative is very proactive at working with us. Franklin funds were not always available. Well, they were available, but they had a $50 threshold. Now they moved to the $25, which works really good. The portfolio funds that they have built are a great portfolio. Now I'm going to tell you, the mutual fund families that we work with, and you got to understand, every mutual fund family has good funds. There's not any one family that got all the dogs and everybody got all the bears. Okay, they all have good funds. They just got different rules that you work with. American Funds, again, is another good mutual fund family. However, they're not on our platform. Okay, and those who have license know that means you got to do paper. What do you say? Yes, you got to do paper. You got to do their form. You got to do our form. Making me choke just thinking about it. You got to mail it in. Then hope you didn't mix the box. If you missed the box, and you got to take the paper back to the client's got it initially. Oh my God. You have to copy it. You have to image it. You have to store it. You got to log it in on a paper. So because of that, I'm not big on American funds, but they are a great fund family. Okay. And we even offered some fidelity funds. Okay, again, I had a client recently. He wanted to invest in the weed business. Well, the THC, whatever it is, all whatever, that stuff. And so we didn't offer it, but they have a fund through their biotech that does buy into that industry. So we did that for him. It picked up a $10,000 trade. So, I found my way to do the paperwork. I'm just saying. I had no other choice, so I did. So it's not that we don't do it, just don't want to. The beautiful part about the platform is that all this stuff, when you don't get it right, it goes ding, turns blue or yellow, it turns some color that doesn't let you go on until you get it figured out. So it makes it pretty goof-proof in that sense. So that makes the training part very simple compared to what we used to do with training on paperwork. Okay? Working with our clients, everybody can find $25 or $1 a day. I don't do a mutual fund under $30 because I make everybody, my minimum is $1 a day. Okay, now that's a start. And then I always do a PAC plus on the mutual fund where next year they'll put away 40, next year they put away 50, next year they put away 60. So I always suggest that you do that. And when you run your hypothetical, and I'm going to talk about that too, that you run your hypothetical showing that illustration. I typically will run one brand and show them when they don't do the PAC plus, and I show them one with the plus, they say, wow, just $10. Yeah, I said, man, just like your electric bill, it goes up every year. When it goes up, you complain about it, and then you pay it. Is that right? Is that how it works? Okay, good. So it's going to be the same way with your mutual fund. You first time it happens, you might complain about it, then pay it. So if you pay everybody else, why shouldn't you pay yourself? Okay? So we do that. Okay? And now what that does for you, you have a client that's putting away $30, and all of a sudden they start putting away 40, that is a 25% increase in compensation. Does anybody want to turn down a 25% pay raise? No. Okay, on mutual funds, unlike life insurance, which we get paid for it the first year. On life insurance product, you get paid for the first year, okay? On mutual funds, every time your client puts in money, it's as if you wrote the trade today, just like Angela did submit that sale. So every time the client puts in money, it's like she wrote another sale last night. So it pays you first run money with every deposit from now until forever, plus the 12B1 fee. Yes, I saw your jaw drop there. Thank you, Governor. Okay, I appreciate that. I wish I could have caught that on film. Okay, like the train is coming. Okay, so it's a good thing to help again to help you to go out, generate income by bringing real value to people across the kitchen table. Okay, all right. So that's that. With this double dip stuff, let me open up and answer any questions about anything y'all want to talk about security until Carol gets here, and then I'll go through this concept. This DD, this OPM stuff is so good. 90% of the people, clients I've talked to, do it. It is a no-brainer, in my opinion. It's a no-brainer. And so they say, wow, they say it makes sense. I say, yeah, sure it does. Okay, go ahead, brother.
Charles, for the Franklin temperatures,
Yes.
do you have a
Matrix?
a fund? Yeah, matrix.
Yeah, we've got a matrix. Inside the security, when I bring it up on screen, remind me. I'll bring up the matrix for you to depend on where your client is, whether it's going to be a silver client, a gold, or a platinum, and which one of the 5 different styles that they need. You know, preservation, growth, aggressive growth, all that stuff. So you just go to the matrix and you build it based on the percentages already built for you. Yes, sir. Only on Tuesdays. Okay. So yeah, we've got that. And yeah, the matrix is built. And then we got time today. I'll go and show you. Want to get with your Franklin wholesaler, have them come out, and I like the hypotheticals that it's on their website as compared to the Morningstar. Because the Morningstar is like twice as many pages and has a lot of stuff in it that yeah. Well, it's got extra stuff. And we don't need all that. So the way they build their hypotheticals, now they're compliant, so they're legal, but it takes less pages and it's real simple, gets straight to the point, and I like that, and my clients have liked that. So that's, the hypotheticals I run it off of their website. Okay, and again, they're legal because they let Primerica do it, so they'll set you up a username and password. Then you can save all your models in there. So all you gotta do is go click gold, click, builds the model for you because you already built it. So it saves you a lot of time. Okay. What I've been teaching my children, the beautiful part about mutual funds is not you doing them, it's having thousands of people doing them that you override.
Amen.
That, look, I'm telling you, it's the thousands of people doing them that you override. And RVPs know this is a number I track. I track how many PACs come in our hierarchy every month, and if we're growing or we're not growing. I have a report which I call Growing or Dying, because Art Williams said that. He said, either you're growing or you're dying, so I ain't got no daggum in between. And as a result, it's forcing us to think about things to make sure that we continue to grow. Okay, next question you guys have. No other questions? Okay, well, I'll just talk about the double dip concept, then I'll go through it and put it up on the screen so you guys can see it. Again, this whole idea just came about, I've been thinking a lot about the stages, the 4 different stages that people are at, and looked at the tools and resources that we have. It's kind of like Apollo 13, when they say, Houston, we have a problem. And they had to go out and figure out how to make sure they could keep oxygen or recycle the oxygen so they have enough to get back to Earth and be alive. And so when I started thinking about these problems, then I said, okay, what resources do we have at Primerica? Because that's all I got. I got only the box that Primerica's got to help us to create something that will help the client in these 4 stages of life. So therefore we came up with this double dip concept. People that have accumulated money and that are 60 years old, right in that area, 59, starting to get up towards 60, they've accumulated money. The stock market, if you don't know, typically takes a cycle every 3 years. A cycle of down. It takes a down cycle every 3 years. Okay, we have growth, then boom. Growth, boom. Okay, that's the way it does. We are currently into our 10th year of growth.
Everybody on the edge.
What'd you say?
Everybody on the edge.
That's right, because we believe that it is probably going to take a down cycle. And if you take a down cycle when you are approaching or in retirement, that will significantly change your quality of life. Okay? Now, with regular investments, it's typical in the past, we used to tell Coletta that you can plan to, take about 4% of your assets out a year for retirement, and then you probably would not run out. I do not have a crystal ball to rub for you to tell you what your future looks like. Okay, I don't have tarot cards. I can predict your future. Don't have any of that. So we don't know what the future is going to do. We don't know how long you're going to live. We don't know what's happening. We don't even know what our president's going to do every day. One thing we do know, you're right, there's something going to be new every day. Okay, so these are special times. Okay, so we don't know that. But that number is really not accurate anymore. It's around 2.9%. That if somebody expects to have money and it lasts out the normal life, it's now about 2.9%, not 4%, that you could withdraw and feel that confident you won't run out of money. Well, we do believe, again, it's all I can say, that the market's going to cycle, just don't know when. Okay, so it would make sense to protect what you've accumulated. So these are some of the conversations I have with clients when we reach out to them. Okay, it would make sense to put together a strategy to protect what you've accumulated so that you don't have to worry about down cycle in relationship to your income stream. Right? You got it? Okay. So he's going to bring that up while he's doing that.
Say that again, Charles.
It's important. Well, we got it all recorded. It's being recorded. And what I'll do too is I'll do a conversation with you, like I'm calling up a client, and when I'm just to talk to him about the concept, I'll do a call with you, Tara, right now. While Dante hooks us up, we'll do a call. You have a USB cable? Because now I do have one of those. Now I got me a new one. I'm engraved my name in it twice, but I did that on the last one. But so somebody's got one, got a W in it. That's mine. Get back. Okay. Brandon, are you still looking on live? Is it still good?
I didn't close it all the way.
Still good? Okay. Good. This is something we're very, very excited about, this technology. And for those of you guys that are remote, again, I just hope that it's good and it helps you out. I am extremely excited about our future. I am past excited about what's going on. Let me get the Dropbox on the screen now. I don't mind reading down, take reading glasses. You can come around here and find this file for me, okay?
You still going?
Let me get my reading.
Okay, come around here, Brandon. Please. Okay. Okay. Okay, would you please go to security support folder? Yeah, slide down. I got to scroll down. Security support. Yeah. Security support. Okay. Go to OPM. Okay. And let's go to that. That's how you get to it through our website. You can just go to 12 Mighty Oaks, scroll all the way down to there's a folder. I think it's either green or blue, and then just go to security support, and that's where you have the matrix in there. All that stuff is in there. Let's go look up Franklin Templeton and his stuff for the OPM. You just search around, and then let's go to. I don't want to share. I want to open it. What do I want to do? I want to export into PowerPoint. Did I pass PowerPoint? I use PowerPoint. Okay, now watch this. Guys, I'm going to zero in on the screen. So that should zero in on that. See, now that's what they're seeing. My small images should go to that. Okay, let's go save a copy. Save a copy here. Save. Okay, let's go slideshow from start. Okay, so let's say, okay, I'm going to call Mr. Tate. And how old are you actually, Terrell?
58.
Okay, 58, okay. For my example, I want you to be 59 and a half. Okay? I mean, somebody 58, yeah, you can do it depending on where they are. They're still working, not working. A lot of variances that you look at, just like in medicine, Vivian. Different medicines, different people, depends on where they are. And, depending on where they are, what's going on, you apply medicine differently and services, okay? So you'll learn how to, depending on your client situation, what you should probably do. And you can call me and I will help you to get an understanding of it, okay? So we'll do that. So I'm calling up Mr. Tate. He's 59 and a half, approaching 60. He's retired from Boeing company, getting ready to retire. And I know he's my client, so I know he's got an IRA account. He's got an IRA account with about $70,000, $80,000 in it. Okay, let's just say 100. Got 100 grand. I say, hey, hey, Terrell, how you doing? Hello, Terrell, how you doing? People can't hear a nod. Just to let you know. Okay. Thanks, Carol, for getting that piece. They say, hey, Terrell, how you doing?
I'm good, Charles. How you doing?
I'm actually great. Hey, the reason why I call, I know that you're approaching 60 years old,
Yes, man.
and you got an IRA account with us, and I'd like to spend some time and just review a couple of things and start to look at some options of what you can do to make sure that you protect your income. That is important to you, isn't it?
Absolutely, Charles.
And over the years, of course, you've gone through the accumulation stage, and you've got about 100,000 there. And since you're getting ready to retire from Boeing, you've got a 401k there too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. We're not going to discuss that right now. Let's just talk about this. The one thing I don't do is I don't talk about two things at once. I'll seek and get information through my conversation, but I'm not going to talk about two things at once. You tend to cause people get confused. When people get confused, they stop and don't move, and nothing happens. Does it make sense? So, okay, great. So we put together a strategy because right now you're in the stage of life where protection of this asset might be important to you. Remember 2008? Okay, and as you're approaching retirement or in retirement, that's something that most people want to figure out. How can that not happen to me? So I would like to schedule a time for us to meet, and I'd like to go through a strategy with you that can help to make sure that you, one, have income that lasts you for the rest of your life. Is that important to you? It lasts the rest of your wife's life. Is that also important to you?
Yes, it is.
And then be able to have an inheritance to pass on to the next generation. Is that important to you as well?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. Today is Friday. Are you available on Monday? And don't worry about it. We're not to meet in person. We can just meet on the computer. So you don't have to worry about me coming over and all that stuff. We can just meet online. Is that okay?
That's even better, Charles.
Good. You do have a computer at home?
Yep.
Okay, so let's tell them you're not real computer savvy.
I'm not real computer savvy.
Don't worry about it all. All I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a link. You know how to get to your email, don't you?
Sometimes.
Sometimes? Does your wife know how?
Yes, she does.
Okay, good. And then you got to do is click on the link and it'll bring you in.
Okay.
It's just as I'm sitting with you across your kitchen table. Is that okay?
That works, Charles.
Good. And I like to do this online as much as possible because it saves me time and energy and driving, and it's actually super convenient. To me, it's much easier to do these transactions online than to do them in person. Okay? It really is. Okay, so there we are. So I've set the stage, and now we're just enough so we can have a conversation. Okay, so now we're Monday night. We're going to go through the presentation. Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go through, and Terrell and Julia, because I want his wife to sit in too. It's important that she sits in, okay? You remember the movie Danny DeVito did called Other People's Money? Okay, and that's where this title came from, OPM. It's about how to use other people's money to build an empire and to build assets, because that's what he did. He called it OPM, Other People's Money. So we use this concept, we put it together called Other People's Money, and it helps people to do something which we call a double dip. Okay, a double dip, where we can dip twice and grow. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Now, as we go through this, sir, here are the greatest fears that face people. Okay, Julia and Terrell. Fear number one is what? Living too long and running out of money. We don't mind living long. We just don't want to live long and run out of money. So isn't that nice graphic picture we got in there now? Okay, and what's the second fear? Quality of life at the death of a spouse. That's a serious issue. And the third one is market volatility. Remember 2008. Okay? So let's address the 2008. Now remember here, let's assume that we start out with $100,000. What's your name, ma'am?
Vonda.
Vonda?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to talk to you. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Ms. Vonda, you start out with $100,000. Do you remember 2008?
Yes, sir.
And the market crashed a lot?
Yes.
Okay. So if the market dropped 50% like it did, how much money do you have in that account left over?
I have 50.
$50,000.
Yes, sir.
Now, ma'am, Ms. Vonda, did the market recover?
Yeah, eventually,
It,
as time
Ms.
goes on.
Vonda? So did the market recover?
Yes,
Okay, so it went back up 50%. It grew right back what it lost. So how much money do I have in my account?
another 100,000. 75.
75.
Okay.
Because it grew 50% of 50.
50,000, okay.
Okay, now, don't feel bad, okay?
Okay.
But that's 80% of people do, they think that.
Right.
Okay, now that, there's a process this which I'm gonna explain to you and how we're gonna help to protect you, okay? Number one, see, there's a 1-to-2 ratio of loss to gain to recover. 1-to-2 ratio. What I mean by that is for every 1 point of loss, a person needs 2 points of gain to recover. See, for every 1 point that you lose, you need 2 points of gain to get back even.
Right. You were, okay.
See, you need to have 100% growth
Right.
to get back to where you were.
Right.
Okay? So there's 4 types of accounts that we're going to talk about, okay? The first one is something called a bank. You're familiar with banks, aren't you, Mr. Tate?
Yes, sir.
I'll switch back over.
Okay.
Because I knew he would know the answer.
Okay.
Okay? Because I've gone through it before with him.
Okay.
Okay, so there's 4 types of, account. The first account is a bank. Now, what's good about a bank? Can't lose money.
Yeah,
You can't lose money.
right.
That's a good thing about a bank.
Yeah.
What's bad about a bank? Very little interest. It's got a poor rate of return. Very little interest, right? Okay? And saying, guess what else? There's no lifetime income guarantee. You can run out of money with a bank account.
That's right.
The second is equities, stocks, and mutual funds. What's good about them? You can make good money.
Growth.
What else is bad? You can also lose good money. So it goes right. You can make good money, but you can also lose money. Okay, and again, there's not a lifetime income guarantee. The third account is something called a fixed index annuity. Okay, and we're going to discuss 2 of these types of annuities, and depending on your risk tolerance, it's going to determine which one that we might use. Okay, for your strategy. The first one we'll discuss is a fixed index annuity. Guess what? Fixed index annuity, boy, good thing is you can't what? You can't lose money. Right? Guarantee you can't lose your principal. And guess what else? But you can make money. You can beat the bank. Now you're not going to beat equities because they keep a little bit off the top as a way, as they call that spread, to make sure that they make money. That's how they hedge themselves when the market goes down, because we have caps. Okay? But it beats the bank.
That's right.
And guess what else is good about it? It has a lifetime income guarantee. Now that's good. That's something that should interest you, right? Now the fourth one is something called a variable annuity. What's good about a variable annuity? Boy, we can make the same kind of return we make through stocks and mutual funds. But there's 2 sides to this. On the account value, it's not guaranteed, just like the mutual funds. Okay? So on the cash side, we can make money just like the mutual funds, but we can also lose money just like the mutual fund. So there's 2 sides. There's the cash side and the income side. On the income side, guess what? That can only go up. It can never go down. So once you reach a point, it stays there. It can only go up. It can never go backwards. And guess what? That's a good thing. It can't go down. Okay? And the other beautiful part, it does have a guaranteed lifetime. So depending on your risk tolerance, your time horizon, is going to determine which one of these type of accounts that I suggest that you go through, that you go to. Does that make sense? Okay, so all we're doing here, guys, is explaining concept. That's all we're doing. We're explaining the concept. Okay? Now, generally people use annuities for what? Guess why people use annuities? It's guaranteed life income. People don't generally use annuities to accumulate money. You accumulate it through your mutual funds. Right. People buy annuities because they want the guaranteed income for life. People don't generally buy an annuity and at 85 say, I'm going to cash it in. That's generally not what happens. Okay? So during our working years, our goal is to accumulate assets. And as we enter or are in retirement, most people want to protect what they have accumulated. Do you all agree? Yes. Good. So the objective here is to use an existing asset that can create an income. right? So use an existing asset that can create an income, and then use it to create another asset. Okay, that's right. Okay, so the objective is use an existing asset, okay, that can create an income. So what can create an income? An annuity, and then let that start generating that income to create another asset. So what's needed for this strategy? Be close to or 59 and a half, have assets of 25,000 or more. And by the way, just to let you guys know, I'm working with the company now to lower the threshold of a variable annuity down to 25 instead of 50. Okay, and because it should be. Okay, and then currently do not need additional income from the assets. Okay, and have cash on hand in a bank savings account, mutual funds, qualified, non-qualified, or they might have money currently in an annuity. Some of my clients already have money in annuities. I just simply turned on the asset, the income. So everybody's a little bit different, depending on where they are. Are we okay so far? Yes. Still broadcasting? Okay. This is another concept that's important. Since we do not know our date of death, okay, but know that it's coming, okay, everybody in this room has gotten one. Whether you're a believer, if you're a believer, then you know God's got your date and time set. If you ain't a believer, you're an atheist, the universe has one set. Either way it goes, you're going. Okay? So then this is something that I emphasize because people need to face the reality is that if you are born and you're alive, you are going. So, yes, I do have the date. It's out there. But know that it's coming, so start your income stream early, because the earlier the better. It is, in my opinion, to start your income stream now, because every day you wait, your date of death is closer, and less income will be received. Let's assume, Mr. Tate, and I don't know your date, but let's just say you're going to live another 30 years.
35.
Okay, let's say 40. Okay, let's go 40. Okay, you can live another 40 years. Okay, you can wait to start drawing your income, and you can wait 10 years. But if you can get, that's only 30 years of income. Would you rather have, Julia, 30 years of income or 40 years of income? 40.
Yeah.
So it's to your advantage to start your income stream now, because the more you're going to get. So there's something called the rule of 72 as it applies to inflation. And what it says is the average inflation rate has been about 3%, right? So at 3%, you take 3 divided 72, what's the number? 24 years. So what that means is that, therefore, the cost of living doubles every 24 years. Wow. That's powerful, isn't it? The cost of living doubles every 24 years. So if you're 60 years old plus 24, by the time you're 84, the cost of living is going to have doubled. So we need to make sure that you have income that's going to continue to grow and last long and grow while you're in retirement. Making sense, guys?
Yes.
So if you live to age 65, and there's a 1 in 4 chance that you will live to 93, if you're single. If you're coupled, it's 50%. So that means you have to double your income in order to maintain the same standard of living during your retirement years. Mr. and Ms. Tate, you know what the good news is? We have a plan. Okay, so then from here, what I would do is going through your strategy. I will go through the plan that I have for you. See, that's right. So when I talk to you on today, I would go in and prepare my hypotheticals, get one for the type of account I'm going to suggest to you, and then run the double dip account, and then go ahead and have it ready. And I'd go through your specific plan. Okay, y'all with me? Okay, so I'm just going to go through this one for now. I'm not gonna teach you how to present an annuity. I'm gonna go through some parts, but I think you guys should know how to do this, okay? Just gonna blow it up, okay, good. So this one is a fixed index annuity. On the fixed index annuity, and I'm not gonna be able to write on the screen here. On the fixed index annuity, you see where it says contract anniversary?
Yes.
Okay, so they got 103,000. They put up 100, they get a 3% bonus. Okay, the column next to it is what's called their walkaway money.
Right.
That's if they decide they want to bail out, that's what they would get minus the penalty. So it's the anniversary minus the penalty. This annuity has a 10-year penalty, starts at 10, and it descends by 1% a year until it goes to 0. Okay? So you can see here. Now we're also showing you on this side where you see the blue in the darker area. Okay, that this area here, this column here where it says income base, that can only go up. You notice that number, that can never go down. That can only go up. Remember when we said at the beginning, it can only go up. Okay, so now they're able to draw income. Now, they can get a pay raise as long as they have money in the account under the contract anniversary side. Okay, good. So long as they got money in the account under the contract anniversary side, then they are eligible to get a raise if, the account performs at a positive. You with me? Okay. That equates over here to this much in income. Well, it starts out at 3,600. Then it went to 37. And again, this number can only go up, it can never go down. Now, if you notice here, it was white. Why was it white? They had a negative return, negative or 0. So, can it go down?
No.
But you said with this one from 122 to 115, why'd that happen, Charles? Why'd it happen for two reasons. One, they're paying a 0.95% fee to guarantee income for life, and we're drawing income out of the account. So it's gonna go down for those reasons. Because they're taking money out, right? And they're paying a 0.95% fee to guarantee income for life. Y'all with me, guys? So next year, you see, it grew, right, went down a little bit. Next year, boom, look, you got an $19,000 pay raise. Look at that. Okay? So again, what's good about the AIG fixed index is that the consumer can get a pay raise all the way up to age 95. They can potentially get a raise up to 95. Two things have to happen. One, they got to have money in the account, and there's growth. Money in the account, and there's growth. Then they can potentially get a pay raise to age 95. That's a good thing. Y'all say yes? Yes. Okay, good. So now they're drawing this income out. So now Mr. Tate currently doesn't need the income from this retirement. He doesn't need it. So let's take this 3,600 that he doesn't need, and we're going to show him establishing a double dip. Because how long is this income going to give him? What is it saying? Forever, for life, right? And we're going to do it based on him and his wife, so it's based on him and his wife. So why wait to here to start when you can start here and get those 5 extra years? Okay, so now you understand, and now we're going to start using other people's money. You hope that the client lives long enough, as you can see on the bottom, that they do run out of money. Don't get mad. That means you live long. Don't get mad. But we still give you income for as long as you want. See, you still get this $14,000 no matter what. The income base is now based on what? $400,000. How much money you got in the account? How much you got for next year? But what's your income based on? And it's paying you how much money? Okay, now if you die before that, let's say you and your wife died in a common car accident, at that point, let's just look at it right here. I don't know what age it is, but at this point, let's pick an age. That's a good age. Whatever the baby said. I agree, baby. Okay, whatever age. Just going to pick one. We're just going to pick this one. So let's say pass a common car accident. Okay, we're going to look here. The income base is $219,000. Okay, at that point, you've drawn out how much money? 81, right?
81,
This is the cumulative. This is the amount of money you've taken out so far. How much you got left?
91.
What'd you start with?
100.
So you started with 100, you've taken out 91, and you still got 91 left to go to the family. So you ain't mad at me, right? Now, Mr. Glenn, this is only the first part of this. This is not the whole plan. This is just the beginning. You with me so far? Okay, so y'all understand this. So when they run out of money, again, it still pays an income. There's no longer a death benefit because there's no money to give. Y'all with me? Okay, so the number one reason you buy an annuity is based on what? Lifetime income. Very good. Okay, good. Let's go on. This is just a summary sheet that we put together to help us to, when we put together a plan for somebody, okay, that's an internal sheet that we use to keep up with stuff. Okay, then in this case, we ran a bond fund, which, you know, again, the bond fund is fine. Depends on where the client is. If they're real conservative, and this is non-qualified money, because you cannot put qualified money into a municipal bond. You have to put it into a regular bond fund. Okay, so in this scenario, we're going to assume this is non-qualified money. Okay, I'm not going to get into qualified, all that today. Okay, so the client took and put this money into a bond fund. Okay, then we show the client the amount of money increases every year that they're contributing. Because remember, it increased the amount that they're drawing out of the annuity. Remember that? Yes. Okay, so we're showing an increase of 6%. That's less than what it grew, but I always like to be on the conservative side than the aggressive side. And I'd rather under-promise and over-deliver than over-promise and under-deliver. So we're showing the growth at 6% of the money coming out. Y'all with me? Yes. Okay, and then for this scenario, and I now run them over 10 years, not 15 in most cases, Terrell. Okay, so this is over 15 though. So at the end of 15 years, okay, this client has reinvested $30,000, that's from the dividends. Correct. This is what they paid in fees, and the account's worth what? $116,000. It grew at an average rate of what? 4%. And that's a muni bond. Very conservative. The dividend pays every month, just like clockwork, pop, 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 pop. And older people, much older people, like to see that every month. Okay? So you with me? So this is the double dip account. A lot of clients now, I'm going to put them inside of a portfolio, either conservative growth. Again, all depends on their risk tolerance, time horizon. Here's the variable annuity. Now, from the ones I'm doing where the client is comfortable with a variable annuity, I use the Lincoln variable annuity. The reason I use the Lincoln as opposed to the AIG, because on the AIG annuity, the variable, the client, it is very difficult to get a pay raise after you start distribution. Because the only way you can get a pay raise after you start distribution, the cash side has to be equal to or greater than the income side for the client to get a pay raise. With the Lincoln, the client can continue to get a pay raise even though the cash side is less than the income side. So they can continue to get a pay raise throughout the life of the contract. Is this making sense? So that's why I use the Lincoln variable. See, I mean, my loyalty is always to the client. Okay, it's not to any vendor. It's always to the client, which is what yours is going to be. Okay, so again, variable, I'm using Lincoln, and the AIG, again, if they're going to be doing a fixed index product, okay? Now, let's go and look at here on the variable side. Now, again, we're going to show the same $100,000. Y'all see that here? Now, pardon me?
Yes.
Okay. Now over here, here's the income withdrawal. This is using the I for life, okay? So the I for life, and I'm going to go across the board. So here's the account value. Here's the interest that it earns. There's no caps. So whatever it gets, they get. There's no caps. Because they're using equities as a sub-account for the cash side. There's no cash, but there's also no guarantees on the cash. The cash account can go lower. Let's look at 1 year where it might have. Look here. Okay, we had a negative 4%. Here you had a negative 17. Account dropped from what? 281 to 199.
Yeah.
Okay, you had 2 years, right? You say, oh no, look, it went back up 24.
Right.
It's equities. It's gonna go up or down. It's a cycle. Okay? You ain't always breathing in. At some point you gotta go breathe it out. So it's a cycle. All right, you remember, right? Remember that good food y'all ate yesterday? It's gone full cycle. It's a cycle. If you don't have a cycle, you don't have life. Okay? All right, so now, this again, I'm not teaching this annuity, they teach you concept. Okay, so again, this is the account value, and what's coming out of here are the fees to the annuity, plus the income that they're drawing out. But they can continue to get raises, depending on the portfolio that you select. This has done this, not bad, right? Good. Now, this is the guaranteed income. This is the guaranteed minimum that come out of the account. So the guarantee is $4,000. Can't ever go lower than 4. Can it go up? Yes. Once it goes up, can it come back down? No. It is guaranteed. Every time you see bold, that means there's a permanent pay raise. You see? You see bold, permanent pay raise. Let's find next. Oh, it didn't grow. Oh, that's right. Wow. Oh, it had negative performance. But did it go down by 4.47%? No, it stayed the same. When the market grew, what did it do? Okay, good. So now it's got a new floor. Y'all with me? So these are guaranteed. Now, this offers an efficient way to draw income, and it also gives them potential for a bonus. You see, the first year they got a 10% bonus. If the annuity portfolio outperforms the market, I think by 3%, then the client gets a bonus. So instead of this year, instead of getting 12,000, they get 16. Okay. Ms. Clyde, are we okay with this? So again, these are your minimums, but with Alpha Life Rider, here is what history has shown that you've got. There's a bonus potential. So this is the floor, this is an enhancement to it, okay? Right? Now here we're right, it's business class, here's first class. Okay? And you get an automatic upgrade when the seat's available. You with me? Okay. Then, this is just showing, again, an efficient way of moving the money. If my client is moving money, they're in an IRA and they don't want the income now, then we set up the annuity distribution to go from the annuity mutual fund that's in the IRA. It goes directly into an IRA that we set up on the double dip account, so it's a non-taxable event. The money moves as a 60-day rollover, which means it's non-taxable. Y'all getting this? I'll say it again. Once again, Mr. Tate is at a stage of his life where he does not currently need the income from the annuity or his IRA. But okay, so we'll move the money from a mutual fund, we move it into the annuity, either be fixed or variable depending on his what? Risk tolerance. And then we start the income stream from the annuity going into his mutual fund, IRA, so it moves as a 60-day rollover, and then the movement of this money is non-taxable. Yeah, it's pretty smart. It moves non-taxable. Does that make sense? You're not eliminating tax, we're just continuing to defer the tax. Y'all with me? Okay, so move the money over. Here's the cumulative amount of money they're taking out of here, out of this annuity. So at this point, which this is how many years in? Let me see. Somebody with real good eyes, let me know this number. Huh? I am. I had to move this screen so it's right. So this guy started at 60, so at 70. Okay, how much they got in the account?
199.
Write that down. 100 what? 99. Now you started out with how much? Okay, so write that number. You're going to need that number. How much they drawn out as income that year? Here it is. 11,000 what they're drawing out of the Eye for Life, right? Okay, and so the death benefit is how much? What the debt, right, saying, and how much are they taking out altogether?
92.
So they've taken out 92,000. They're currently drawing out 11,000 a year, taking out $11,000 a year. They've currently taken out 92, and he still got 199 left. And he ain't mad at you. Y'all with me? All right, now let's go through. Now, here's a summary sheet that we put together that ties it all together for the client to understand. Okay? Okay, so we're going to do this. This is again based on that muni bond, not the portfolio that that I'll show you. So again, my client starts out with $100,000. Now we've added something to the sheet since this, and I haven't changed it. Is we put in how much money they've taken out of the annuity so far. We put that on here now, because that's an important number for the client to know. Okay, and we ran this out over 15, and now I'm doing it 10. Okay. So then, remember this number was how much they're taking out? 99,000. So I'll say, Mr. Klein, so far you've taken out 99,000. So now this is using the fixed index annuity. In the fixed index annuity, Mr. Klein, you got 75,000 cash left. The income is based on 226 though. That's paying you $7,900 per year. You with me? In your double dip account, you got how much?
116.
This is the muni bond, not the growth portfolio. You got 116. And then what we do, and I'll show this to you guys. I'm gonna bring up an actual client in a second. We show them here taking this times 5%. Okay, because here's your choice, Mr. Client. You can take this as cash if you want, Terrell. Or you can turn it into another income stream, and at 5%, annuity give you what? At least 5, won't it?
Right.
That's another $5,500. Okay? So in summary, you turn 100,000 to 191. Your income base is 342, and that's currently paying you $15,000 a year in income. Is that pretty good, Mr. Klein? It sure is.
You're right.
So here's a summary of the process. You identify double-digit assets, move non-annuity into annuity, select fixed or variable depending on client risk tolerance. If the client has their assets in the annuity, start here. Establish a double-digit account, either municipal bond or an equity portfolio, depending on what? Client's risk tolerance. Once the annuity account is set up, determine the amount of the systematic withdrawal and send the paperwork to the client to set up the distribution. So it goes from institution to institution. Don't want to touch the client. Determine the date of the distribution into the mutual fund, the first contribution to the double-digit account, and do it on an annual basis. So like one I did for a guy yesterday, he got $6,500 every year. So that's like a $500 a month bank draft. Huh, Carol? You like $500 a month packs? That's what that is. And then make call with the client to set up FBO check if it's coming from another company. Oh. And that's the double-digit concept. Okay, any question about what I've covered so far? Has this helped y'all? Go ahead while I open up a live client.
You know, they have surrender charges.
From who?
AXA, and they have like a 10-year.
AXA, did I say anything about using AXA annuity?
Okay, so I probably can't.
AXA's distribution is different. So that's why I didn't discuss AXA.
Okay, because I can get this.
Because they do short, they don't like you doing 6 month withdrawals right away. And see, what most people screw up with annuities, again, Charles's opinion, is that they wait too long to start distributions. Now, I can't tell you which companies I talked to that told me that sell this stuff. They said, well, people mostly mess up. They wait too long to start drawing their money. And as a result, they don't draw as much. You damn gone right, without a penalty. And that's 59.5. So that's why AXA is not what I discussed. But as you get scenarios, again, you can run them past me. Go to your RVP. If they can't help you, come to me, and then I'll help you guys to find what's appropriate. Yes, go ahead while I look for this.
You said something about the equity for the sub-account on the cash side.
Yes.
What were you explaining there?
Well, it depends on what type of account. My clients. Some of my clients are comfortable with mutual funds.
Right.
Okay, so then I'll build them a mutual fund portfolio.
Okay.
Typically
Okay.
growth or conservative growth or moderate. Okay, because they understand long range is still better off there.
Correct.
Because the annuity is going to be a gift that keeps on what? Giving. Never stop. Can only go up, never go. Okay, so if they're comfortable with equities, then I'll build them a growth portfolio or conservative or moderate, depends on them.
Versus if they were conservative.
If they're real super conservative, no, I don't want to deal market value. Okay, well, let's put you in a bond fund. Or a very conservative growth portfolio. And the Franklin Templeton, most of in their portfolio, about 6% of the portfolio is bonds. But again, as you get acquainted with your wholesaler, they'll help you understand their portfolios, how they're done, and you'll do what's going to be appropriate for your client. Okay, let me think of a client I want to open up that I just did that y'all don't know. I can't open up my phone. Oh, baby. Oh. Okay, I know him. I'll do this guy here. I just did. This gentleman here I just did is 80 years old. Okay, he's 80. 85, depending on if they're going to use a variable annuity, you can go to 85. Fixed index is 80, I believe. Where's Brandon at?
Right here.
Come here, Brandon. See me over straight. I don't have my daggone reading glasses. Johnson, last name Johnson. Over here. Johnson. Save my eyes.
I see your eyes.
Thank you, brother. Johnson. I'm going to go buy me some because I left them at home. I need some reading glasses.
Johnson North.
Yes. Okay. All right. So now, my client. This is one of my clients. Okay. I'm going to bring him up. How do I open this up? Okay, there we go. You guys should be able to see this now. And when I finish, guys, I do go through the surrender fees with them. I discuss that with them. Okay, y'all with me? Yes. I cover that with them. Okay, so I always do that. All right, so here's Mr. Johnson. Okay, in this case, he's 80 years old. Okay, here's a client who he's got over 200 grand with me altogether, and he's very, very conservative. I wanted him to do an annuity a couple years ago. He didn't want to do that one time, so great. So we put money in a muni bond, and the muni bond doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It clocks him out $450 every month. And so he's very happy. So I called him up and said, hey, brother, again, I'm just giving you the time we're supposed to review. I need to share something with you. I've got a concept that I believe applies to you. It can help you to make sure you have, again, continued income for life, and then have money to pass on as an inheritance to your son. That's what you wanted to do. And with this strategy, will increase your income by 50% a month. Are you interested in that? Great. And to make this adjustment, it will cost you nothing. Does that sound even better?
Yes.
Okay, good. So let me explain this to you. I mean, that's my conversation. Okay, so again, I'm only showing him using 50% of what he had, not the whole amount. Okay? So we move 50% into the annuity. Y'all see that on the purchase payments?
Yes.
Okay, look what it pays him out the first year. $6,000. You see that?
Yes.
The guarantee minimum is how much?
$5,500.
$5,500. So he's got $6,000 coming out. So y'all write this number down at age 90 what he's got. Okay? So let's go to age 90. At age 90, he's drawing out five, okay, with that year, it's 5,600, right? Okay, and at that point, he's drawn out 77,000, right? Right? And you got 54,000 left in the account. Right? We're doing right so far. Okay. Now let's go out of this. And let me go to the portfolio that we built. So what we did now, we got the income stream, so we moved the money into this account, right? We moved it from the muni bond into the VA. He's comfortable with a variable annuity. At 80, he's comfortable with a variable annuity. He's comfortable with it. He understands equities. He's comfortable with a variable annuity. So that's okay. Okay, so he's okay with that. Okay, because, and then again, he's got a bigger income stream and it will last him longer. See, a variable annuity, potentially, based on historical values, will last longer as the income. The fixed annuity, when we look at it, eventually it runs out of cash sooner than the variable annuity. So one of the things you want to do is make sure you had an inheritance to pass on to who? Remember I talked about longevity, okay? So again, everybody's shoe don't fit the same, right? Okay, some of y'all like open toe, some of you like closed toe. Hey, I don't know. Some of you like black, some of you like psychedelic. And if that's what you like, that's what you like. But again, everybody's situation is different. This is not just blah.
Right.
So my client started out, okay, drawing out the money. So if we look over here in his double dip account, and this hypothetical is actually not correct. Okay, it jumped to 10, 10, 6, 11, okay. But he'd accumulate, it shows here 209,000. He would actually accumulate about 100, okay. He would actually accumulate about 100. And let me pull up the summary sheet. Do I have it in here? I did not save his summary sheet. I didn't save his summary. Brandon, come back. Let's find another one.
Another client.
Mm-hmm.
Another client.
Yeah. Bring up Brown.
Okay, you got E Browns here. You got Al Brown.
Yeah, bring up Al Brown. Thank you. Okay, let's go to Al Brown's. Okay, in this case, this gentleman here is currently 77. Good client, been a client forever. He had this money sitting inside of a mutual fund IRA at 77 in equities. Okay, so I'm talking about possible market value, which it is. So boom, we move money. I had to get an exception for him because he only had 40. So this case, they can only run the hypothetical minimum 50 rate. Ran at 50, but I extrapolated his values based on 80% of the number. Okay? So I ran at 50, but you'll see how I extrapolated the numbers. I took the number that they have on income times 80%. Okay? So he starts drawing out $2,358. You see that? I'm sorry, $2,900. See, he's already in RMDs too, right? RMDs means when a client has to start taking money out of a retirement account. So he's already got to start taking income, but he don't need it. Let's move it to work and go to work. So we started the RM, so the RMD is 23, so he's taking 29, so he's meeting the government requirement. You got to do it anyway. And you see those are pay raises. So let's go look at this at the end of 10 years. I think I ran it to 10 years. Okay, 87. Okay, at that point, he's got 28,000 left in the account. Y'all see that?
Yes.
Okay. He's drawn out $2,700 in income. And so far, he's drawn out a total of $37,003. You with me? Okay, good. So now let's take that and take me back. I messed up, Brandon. Take back to Mr. Brown. Where's that folder? Thank you. I need this one. So then we took this portfolio, which again, this is using Franklin Rising dividends, the strategic income, so it's mostly bonds, and then we got the convertible securities. Again, very safe securities. Not regular securities, convertibles. Okay, so we ran this. You see the 2,900 coming out. You see that? And then we show it gradually increasing by 6%. All right. At the end of 10 years, my client's got $59,000 in the account. And it's double dip. You with me? I hope y'all loving on this. So you got 59,000. And then do I have the summary? So here's his summary. I'm going to have to export this one, I think, Brandon. Export. Export in. Y'all making me show my skills. I'm getting some. Okay. So the client started out with 50,000. You see that? Started out with 50,000. How much have they taken out in annuity over those 10 years? And it's 10 years, right? So we made the form better. So 50,000, he's taken out what? 37,000. How much left in the account?
28.
And the income is based on that also, isn't it? And that's current that year paid how much money?
2,000.
How much you got in his double dip?
59,000.
So the income base is the same. If you decide to turn it into cash, it's 59,000. Turn it to annuity, it's worth another what? 2,900, right? So if you total, and the spreadsheet now, when you put in these numbers, it automatically does the calculations for you. Maybe, yeah, it is. So the count, okay, so you start out with 50, in 10 years it's worth what? 88,000, or in income. He said, this makes sense. I said, yes, sir, it does. I said, great, let's do it. Done. So it's an RBP that pays you $1,600. Plus, what you have to get paid to move the money to the doublets. That's equivalent to a $200 a month pack. That's what this is. And so it's good for the client and it's good for you. Any questions that you guys have about this? Huh?
And you, I have a question.
Go ahead.
You have to be 59 or older, correct?
59 and a half,
Okay.
in order to take money out of an annuity without a penalty.
Without a penalty.
But generally, if your client is 59 and a half, you wouldn't start income immediately. You'd wait to 60. Because at 60, they tend to get a 0.5 to a 3/4% increase in the income. They get a raise. So when you pull up the form that we have, it tells you call the company and ask them, when does my client get an automatic percentage raise? And they say at 60 on October 1st. So some of them just set up their system to withdraw to start after October 1st. So again, you do each one as is needed. Brandon, come on back.
You want me to remind you, Charles, so I can break the temperature make.
Okay. All right, so Brandon, take me back to, I want to get to my Dropbox. Well, I'll just go to Dropbox. Okay. And then go to security support and then find OPM folder. So you'd want to call and find out when security support and then OPM. You'd want to go and then find out when does the client get a raise. So some of my clients, I'll set the system I withdraw now, but it's going to start in October. It's going to start in November. If they're going to get a bump, right, in the next 6 months, 9 months, right, I'm going to wait. Because that means they're going to get an extra percentage going forward forever. But you can go and set it up now. It makes sense, I hope?
That's the income, right?
That's the income, right. So here's a form that we use, and I got them side by side, to help put together, to keep up with what you need as you put this together. Because again, it's a lot to keep up in your head, multiple clients, so I write down all this stuff. And here's the kind of stuff you get: the date, client's name, phone number, email address, date of birth, age, account number, what company is it, fixed, variable, qualified, non-qualified, right? What's the plan type, PA10, PA7, whatever they call it. What's the issue date? What's the account value? What's the surrender value on it, right? what's the income base, what's the current lifetime income and what percentage that is. When is there an increase? See, I call them and ask them, when's the increase for this client? Oh, in October. Okay, great. What's the amount going to be? Okay, so the way you can figure out what's best for your client, okay? So then you say, okay, well, I'm going to start the distribution based on that at this point. Then did you set up the W account? If you did, right, you put the fund that you, whatever you did, and then you put the account number because you're going to need that on a systematic withdrawal. So you ain't got to go get it twice and 3 times. It's all in one spot. Then you set up, the new form doesn't have data draft because we're not doing a draft. We're eliminating that. We're just going from institution to institution. And then did you send the client the systematic withdrawal paperwork? So we put that date, you know, I just write down that date because you're going to need to know. Did you do it? Because you're not going to remember. You work with multiple clients. Did I send Mary that 10 times? I don't know. So I write it down. And then did I get it back? Yep. Then we send it to the company. And then here's the place where you keep notes. And then on the bottom, you got all the phone numbers to call the customer service departments, all on the form to make it very convenient for you. So you have to keep looking up all these numbers. Okay, so that's the sheet that we use internal to keep up with documents. Is this helping y'all?
Yes.
Okay. So as a result of doing this, guys, we've been doing, I guess we're averaging right now probably about $250,000 a week. Yeah.
When you send up
Come back, Brandon.
When you send up the account for the person, you're using qualified money, or can you use non-qualified?
You can use non-qualified too. Let me bring this up. Okay. Let me come back and I'll answer your question.
And
Hold on a second, please. Systematic withdrawal. Okay, I just did that. Security support, and then look for Franklin Templeton. Okay. Go ahead. You can do qualified or non-qualified.
okay, so you
Like Mr. Norris, his money was non-qualified.
okay, so we can move from a mutual fund that's not qualified into this.
Into an annuity, right? But it'll be a non-qualified annuity.
Okay, and
We'll put Franklin Templeton matrix. You see Franklin Templeton?
Yeah.
Yeah, grab the matrix.
PDF.
Make it expand. Open up a PDF writer. Export. This is probably already in there. In fact, you ain't got to do that. It's already in there. You see a folder to Franklin Templeton? Yep. Open it up. There's the matrix. How about that? Ha-ha. There's the matrix, Charles. So you just do it this way. Yes, ma'am. Did I answer your question?
yeah, that answered my question. And you were saying something about the mandatory distribution age that applies.
It applies to qualified money,
It applies to qualified money.
except for Roth. Roth, there is no RMD.
Correct.
On IRA, traditional IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, 457s, okay? You have to start taking money out by 70 and a half, otherwise the government penalizes you. Yes.
Charles, I can get that on.
Can you speak louder?
I can get that on 12 Audio.
Yeah, this?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just go to, I'll just show you how to do it. I mean, yeah. All you gotta do is you go to our website. Let me get to our website. How do I get to Safari? Somebody give me to Safari. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is our website here, right? Just, I don't know if I'm broadcasting or something.
Yeah, just roll all the way up.
Yeah, I am going down. Yeah, just roll all the way down. Let me go home.
And you were live, in the live box there.
I was PRCP2. So you just log in like I did. That's our secret password. But that's what lets us do this live, because I can't go live on Facebook. You'll get in a lot of trouble with the company. But because we're going live and we're going through our portal, for our hierarchy is private, so this actually puts it on a private YouTube channel. And that's why people remote, like we got people on and all over right now, that are listening to this workshop because of that device that we got there. Very good device, but it lets us work. So I can be in touch everywhere. You see the green folder?
Yep.
You click on the green folder, security support. Oh, look at that, it opens it up. And then there's all the matrix and all the stuff that we have, the tools, the OPM folder, everything is there. The presentation, I went through the PowerPoint, it's all out here for you. Okay? I hope that helps some.
Security support on the
Yeah, security support folder. And you have that in there. Any latest adjustments that we make, we put it in there. And just to make it available for you. What we're doing is our best to get you information. I mean, because physically can only be in so many places at one point. But I'm just a huge system person, and systems allows you to duplicate yourself faster. Okay? Any other questions? No? Okay, I hope everybody's good. I hope you got value out of this today. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.